Hey, okay, let's get started. Today, I want to talk to you about GovWin really quick and whether GovWin is right for you. That's kind of a loaded question because it totally depends on who you are and what stage of business maturity you're in. So let me start a little bit with what is GovWin, Deltek's GovWin. And I'm not providing a training video. I'm not trying to go that level of depth in here. I'm just trying to give you hopefully a 5 minute video. It might be end up a 15-minute video, but this idea of what is it? And so they offer a couple of solutions. The only one I care about is the federal market. So in there, they provide a solution around the federal market, which you can see right here. And as they talk about it, they describe it in a lot of different ways, right? Custom research, notifications, et cetera. And the way they market it is talking about how you can find partners, proposals. Let me just tell you from my experience what GovWin does for me, because I use it. I don't use it on a daily basis, but I definitely use it. And I used to get very frustrated at businesses that would use GovWin. They're like, that's how we do business development and capture. It's like, no, you don't. They're a research tool. And so as long as you keep that in mind, that GovWin, like many other tools that you can subscribe to, is just a tool to help you do capture and business development, but it doesn't do it. One of my If I do a devil's advocate on this, one of my favorite things about GovWin when I'm running my own small business is that so many of my competitors, their entire business development and capture efforts are through GovWin. So whatever GovWin says, that's what goes, and that's what we know about the opportunity, or that's what we know about the customer, the agency, et cetera. Well, that's not true capture, right? That's not true business development. You have to get out there and knock on the doors. You have to meet the customer. As some of the folks out there, Judy Brad, I think I recently heard her saying again something she's been saying for a couple of decades now, is that you don't sell to the government, you sell to people. You sell to a person, and that's so true. You have to get out and meet people to be able to understand their challenges and goals. So GovWin is a great assistance to you, but it's not going to sit there and be the capture. It's not going to do capture, right? And so it's no different than Google in that sense. In this particular sense, what it does is have a bunch of information related to federal opportunities, and so you can search in there. Um, One of the ways that I use it is to just confirm that there's some opportunities out there. And because I might track so many opportunities in a particular range, I can use that as just tracking to see if they've learned anything new. But frankly, the biggest part about GovWin is just being able to do some data dumps on forecasting out your pipeline, what you might put in it. And there's all sorts of tools. I don't want to sit there and these guys don't pay me. I'm not trying to sit there and advocate for one particular tool, but it is a good tool for giving you an understanding of what's coming down the pipe. And that could be in the coming fiscal year or 5 years out, right? So it does a really good job at just making it easy for you to summarize it. There's other people out there like Eileen Kent who will teach you how to do this yourself using free government tools. So you can choose different paths you follow. Anyways, that's what GovWin is, right? Is this, if I summarize it, right? If they summarize it, it's a whole bunch of other stuff. But basically, it helps populate pipeline with opportunities that are coming down the pike. The other question you might have is how much does it cost? And they don't market it. So I just typed into Google, how much does Deltek GovWin cost? And there's a whole bunch of people who have been saying for years what it costs. And I know it costs around $6,000, but I didn't want to just say it myself. So here is some company out there, ITQ Lick or Click or whatever it is. But same thing I would see on many, many other sites. It's $6,000 per user per year. I don't actually think that's a problem price, right? Some people talk about $6,000 might be a lot, but I can't tell you the number of things we might waste $6,000 on, including perhaps hiring wrong or personnel decisions that weren't done correctly, especially in the sales arena. If you're going to pay $6,000 for GovWin and you use it the way they envision, you'll get your money back. That's for sure. Again, I'm not advocating that you go subscribe to it, but I don't think $6,000 is a lot of money. Just wanted to come back to and putting that in perspective when you think about the cost and how that might help you in business development, right? I believe that there's phases that a company goes through, and sometimes I talk about it in maturity, right? The small business maturity model. How mature is your organization by certain activities you do? But it could also be on revenue. And so in this particular case, I'm just going to talk in revenue. I generally say for the first 5 million, you should be subcontracting. If you're just getting into federal government contracting, subcontract. And if that's the case, you don't really need a subscription to GovWin. Just go to beta.sam or USA Spending, and you can find a lot of the similar information. But more importantly, if you're teaming up with other companies, they're probably farther along, in the $5 to $25 million range, and they've got a subscription and they've got a pipeline, and you can team up with them and begin to pursue it. There's not a lot that GovWin has that you really care about from a sales perspective when you're subcontracting, because you should be, again, knocking on doors and learning that yourself. If you start moving into that 5 million and beyond, and you're going after opportunities as a prime, then maybe it's a good time to go after it. And certainly for larges. One of my favorite things I saw in here, and I don't think I have it right now. Let me see if it says it here. This is my favorite thing. You can tell when somebody's doing a review like this. And of course, this is my opinion, but you can tell when somebody's doing a review. And down here, it says typical customers: startup, small businesses, medium businesses, and large business. Well, exactly what customer is not your typical customer? That pretty much says anybody in business. And I completely disagree with this. I believe small business and startups, and when I say small business in this case, entry level businesses, right? Because they're using this term medium business. To me, medium business is when you're 5 million and beyond. I know a lot of people might call it when you're not SBA small. But keep in mind, if you're not making a lot of revenue, stay away from the tools that cost a lot of money and instead begin to build relationships. You should be getting in touch with your PTAC, right? Long before you look at GovWin. And GovWin would say this: don't come knocking on our door until you've learned to work with the PTAC, because it does them no good to have customers paying them $6,000 a year and feeling like they're getting ripped off because they're not getting any wins. Well, if you feel that way, it's because you don't know how to knock on doors. Go to the PTACs first. Learn how to sit there and knock on doors. They'll sit there and help you understand how to get for free opportunities coming into your email that you can learn about and then pursue through capture activities, et cetera. And then when you're ready to spend money, companies like Deltek would love to take your money, but just pay them at the right time. Don't pay them too early. Okay, so that's my quick opinions about Deltek. I do think that they have a good role to fill in the business development and capture arena, as do thousands of other business owners in the GovCon space, but know when you should be knocking on their door.